but it was more.
There's more to it.
It's more to it. I needed that next level. I had plateaued, you can say that in life I was like plateaued. I was just cruising or whatever. So I really thought it out. I prayed about it, definitely. And just like, jumped out that window.
Thomas Roach, Director of Marketing with Senior Life Insurance Company. We're at the home office in Thomasville, Georgia, and of course, we are all fired up. Today, we have a very, very special guest on the podcast, the wonderful, the beautiful, the amazing Kiki from South Florida. Kiki, what's going on?
Nothing much. Thank you for that awesome introduction.
No problem. You doing okay today?
Yes, I'm doing very well.
So you've been visiting us this past week or whatever for our recent leadership conference. How did that go for you this week?
Oh, it was amazing. I'm super fired up of all the opportunities and everything that was shared actually with my group, all the, the mindsets. Everybody's on the same track and the same goal. So we're ready to go for the next 3 months.
So is it difficult for you? Because everybody knows the home office is located in Thomasville, Georgia. Is not quite the bustling metropolis that Miami might be. So what's it like going from such a fast-paced city to coming in and relaxing with us?
I love it here.
You love it?
Yes, I was born and raised in Miami. So to drive 15 minutes to the home office is amazing. For you guys, that's like the best thing. I'm used to driving an hour to work, and that's good timing.
Right.
So no traffic. Like we even make jokes sitting at the light, and it's only like 2 cars. Like, oh, look at all this traffic.
Right.
In Miami, you have traffic all day, every day, 12 o'clock at night. Yes. Traffic, bumper to bumper.
Definitely.
So I love the slow pace here.
We are definitely happy that you came here. You've been with us with the company for a year and some change now.
Yes.
And even maybe 6 months into it, you already had made the cover of the Scoop. Like, it was pretty quickly. Yeah. A lot of agents, it might take a little bit longer to do that, but in just a very short period. What did that mean to you when you made it to the cover?
Oh, it meant everything. I was like I just still, sometimes I look at the picture and I'm like, oh, I was on that cover.
Yeah.
And just to have, I even had an agent today. She was like, oh, can you autograph my Scoop magazine? And I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And I'm like, again? Like,
wow.
I think that's enough.
Right.
She's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you again. So
that's really awesome.
It's really, it's great.
You've been doing very well. You've done a considerable amount of production every single month and have had a good amount of success with the company so far. Yes. But just kind of thinking from your history and your life, things weren't always so easy. I believe that you actually, as a child, grew up in the projects in Miami. What was that like? I believe the projects you are quite famous to a degree that you lived in. But what was that like growing up?
Well, growing up, my family pretty much are, some pretty good people. Like, you say my last name in our hoods, they're like, oh, those are the little short, nice people.
Okay.
Because we're all short.
Okay.
But just growing up there, I just, it wasn't bad, but because I never knew really how bad it was because I was, inside the hood pretty much. But once, of course, when I got older, my mom married and we ended up purchasing a house and moving to a middle class neighborhood. And that's when I noticed oh, I was living in the hood.
It was a little different, the atmosphere.
Yeah, it was totally different. My parents still live in the same house over 30 years. But, before then, I didn't realize, how it was. But I always knew I was different pretty much. And, just with the friends I had and just the way my family was, like the way they raised us, I always did things a little different from a lot of my friends from the neighborhood. So now even when they see me, actually I see some of them that's on the street, they're homeless or different things like that. They're like, oh, we always knew you were going to do whatever. And I'm like, really? You always was the good girl. And I didn't think that, but, they did. But I definitely didn't want my daughters, not saying and sometimes I do wish they had that experience because now they're so spoiled. Right. Yeah. And they're like, oh, they live in the hood. And I'm like, that was my best days. Yeah. That's where I got my balance pretty much because I did both. So, it made me who I am pretty much. That's why I'm pretty much average.
How do you attribute your drive and everything that you've accomplished. What do you attribute that to? Because that kind of environment sometimes isn't conducive to having a lot of success for a number of reasons. And a lot of times the people from that area, it's not necessarily their fault that they're in that situation or that they
It's
continue
generational.
and they get stuck in that area. But in order to come out, you really have to push hard to come out of that environment. So what do you attribute that to?
Definitely my daughters. And I had my first daughter when I was 19. Actually, I graduated at 17, but
Okay.
and what I did was my mom always, because she only had up to like a 6th grade education.
Okay.
So her main thing was for her 3 daughters to graduate. And once we graduated, she was like, okay, y'all can do whatever y'all want.
Right.
Y'all got past where I did. So I felt like I had to set another bar for my daughters. Either other than just getting past the 12th grade, and I do have college experience and everything, and I have a degree, but I just wanted my daughters to actually have that experience of living on campus and things like that. So I took the proper steps of course, my job. And I started working with the government when I was 22 years old.
Right.
And I actually moved up the ranks from actually being an officer to being a lead to being getting a job into the payroll department and then actually moving up the ranks in that to where my last position, I was actually running the payroll department for TSA Miami.
Wow.
So definitely it's my daughters that really drive me. And I just want to be an example for them, to set another bar for them to even go higher.
So that's obviously going to be your why. Like we always talk about your why.
Always. My 2 girls, that's my why.
Definitely.
They are my whys.
Now, working for TSA and getting to the point that you did to get promoted to where you were at, I mean, there's a lot of great things that come with that. It is a great job with great pay, benefits, things like that. So what would cause you or inspire you or drive you to come into the world of insurance and in final expense? Not now with final expense, of course, the opportunity is endless.
Yes.
But at the time you were doing very well. And, a lot of people, I guess, see that as almost like a security net to have that continuous pay and things. So to jump out the window and take that chance with your 2 kids, what made you do that?
And look, it was, when I say the most uncomfortable thing I have ever done in my life.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm a homeowner. And at the time when I jumped, I was actually I had been in my house maybe a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
So I was a new homeowner.
Wow.
My oldest daughter was in college, like a year. She had just finished her first year. And then my younger daughter was starting middle school. And
so you are a new homeowner,
yes,
with a kid going into college,
private college,
in a private college,
yes.
And now you're talking about making a career change,
and
now you're the most nervous you've ever been,
the most.
So what made you move forward?
Okay, so it was the first visit here, and we sat down with Mr. Powell, and just to see that he's allowed, we were there at his pool house, and I'm just sitting there taking it in, we're at the CEO's, his house, his pool house. When do you ever go, to, he has us here at his house, we're chilling out by the pool, and I'm like, this can't be real. So, that was just the first week. And literally, we returned that Friday. Joanne and I were back here at home office on that Sunday.
Oh, wow.
We paid our own trip. Yeah. Hotel, everything. We were like, we got to get back there and we got to get back fast. And we came back, and actually, I think I met all you guys. I met Ken, everyone. And we stayed here for a week just to study and just to see how these things are done. Now, Joanne had experience in the sales industry. I've never sold a cookie, nothing.
Right.
So, it was just totally new to me. Everything was I'm learning from scratch. I was in my comfort zone for 16 years with TSA.
Right.
I can move all over the department, from everywhere. I can stop working in payroll and go back to the floor and work as an agent because I've been there. I've been in all the different parts.
Right.
But this was totally new. So, but when I came here that week and I spent time with Uncle Mitch, of course.
Which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a minute.
Uncle Mitch.
Right.
So I spent time with him and his wife and, Kat. Gareth, everybody. Like we were all over the place. Bonnie and Aileen, like everyone actually poured into us that week. We came here like every day and literally just studied every piece of senior life.
Oh, wow.
And we returned back home after a week. And that Sunday, honestly, I was trying to find every reason not to go back to work.
Oh, wow.
So, it's like, I'm sick. Can I be sick? Let me think. How much sick time I got? Like, I'm trying to figure out a way of getting out of this salary position. Like, and by that Tuesday, I was just like, it's over. Like, I can't find no excuse.
Right.
Like, I just want this so bad. Like, and I really believe in this. I got to do it. And so that's exactly what I did. I gave them a call and I'm like, hey, I want to give you guys notice that I'm not coming back. So they're like, okay, you're going to give us like 3 months to replace you or whatever. I was like, no, the most I can do is Friday.
Oh, wow.
I was like, the most I can do is Friday.
Yeah.
And even like the ladies in HR, I was like, really? Like, Kiki, you can't leave us.
Right,
we're not going to even be able to give you a party. And I'm like, listen, y'all can just call me because now I work for myself. I can always come back. Like, it ain't no problem.
Right.
Just make sure I can put you on my calendar now. And they really thought it was a joke. And literally that Friday, I showed up, to the HR office. And they were like, you're serious.
Oh, wow.
Like, still. Like, they were like, we thought you were playing. Well, okay, let us start this. They started typing up the paperwork. And I'm in there, like, printing out all my last emails, like, all my paperwork I need.
Right.
And I was like, all right, guys, I love y'all, but I'm out.
Wow.
Just like that.
Wow.
Just like literally, like, you with a government job, you usually give them like a 2-week notice, then a salary that they have to replace me.
Yeah.
But good thing, like, I did have a partner there and he was hurt. Like, he was like, come on, Kiki. Like,
Right.
And even all my officers, everyone. But I'm like, y'all, I have to do this. And the main reason back again is my why is my children.
Right.
I needed to leave a legacy for them.
Absolutely.
And in the government, like, for my age at that time, I was 37. So I even looked into what my retirement would look like. And like, pretty much by then, it wasn't going to be pretty much nothing.
Right.
And so I put all those factors into play. Like I just didn't jump up and leave. And I just was like, I have to leave some for my girls. Like, I don't want them to go like me at 22 years old, get stuck in a job.
Right.
And then like it's the security blanket. Like I couldn't, I was miserable, honestly. I got very complacent and I was miserable. I would literally just go there and like the numbers and the things I would do, I can do it with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
Like, and once you get to that point, there's no more drive. Like I would just walk in and just do whatever and like walk back out. Just go through the
motions, basically.
Yeah, just going through the motion because I was getting a check. If I was there, I was getting it. If I wasn't, I was there. I was getting it.
Right.
And that's easy. So a lot of people are like, why you just didn't stay? Because, you still get paid. But it was more.
There's more to it.
It's more to it. I needed that next level. I had plateaued. You can say that in life. I was like plateaued. I was just cruising or whatever. So, I really thought it out. I prayed about it, definitely. And just like, jumped out that window.
Definitely. So when thinking about, your why, the legacy is a big part. Your financial legacy going on to your kids. I imagine being a single mother with 2 kids, it is hard doing that by yourself. Now, sure, you said you had a great relationship with your parents, so I'm sure that they helped. And, it takes a village, so I'm sure that other family members helped. But when we were speaking off camera, I believe you said that you had to be at work at 4 a.m. and you had to actually leave the house around like 2-ish, which, means you were already at work working before your kids were even going to school.
Yes.
So what is the freedom and flexibility now that you are your own boss and you can do and come and go as you need to? What does that mean to you?
That's everything.
Yeah.
That's everything to me because let's say my younger daughter, I didn't do a lot of things. I could have took plenty of positions in other states, but I had to leave and do training. So I was pretty much confined to my children.
Right.
So, like you say, I had to be to work at 4 a.m. Usually that's when the airport opens. Well, they're open 24 hours, but flights start moving around about 4. So, I was always like on a time schedule, like, always paying for a private bus, like my youngest daughter was 2 years old, taking a private bus to daycare.
Oh, wow.
Straight illegal, illegal.
Right.
But like, the people they knew, like, she good people, like, she have to,
Right.
So now having that flexibility is so crazy.
Yeah.
I take my baby to school every morning, my middle school daughter. We go to breakfast every morning.
Right.
I'm there to pick her up every afternoon. Like, when I book my appointments, I kind of gap, from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I don't see anyone because I'm going to pick her up,
Right.
grab her, lunch, get her home, get her settled, and then I can go back out.
Right.
And then just to think, my other daughter's in Daytona. She can call me at any time, like, Mom, I want to come home for the weekend, and I could just, jump in a car, 4 hours, grab her, turn back around and come right back.
Yeah.
Or I can stay. Like, and it's plenty of times, like, you have to go and pack them up at the end of the year. If I was still at a job, of course, that's like taking vacation time, or either I can't do it, or now I'm going to take a write-up because I took the time because I have to go get my daughter.
Right.
So now it's just amazing to be able to do all kind of things. Even I get tasked by my sisters, like, my daughter is, she got a graduation day. Can Auntie come? Like, a Tia, they call me Tia. Can Tia come?
Right.
I'm always there.
Always there.
Always there. And even my parents, they're getting older. Like, my dad is retired. But like, now I swing by and just drop them off coffee in the morning.
Right.
Like, I'm always around. Like, I'm not too far. Like, they'll just call, like, okay, what area are you in today?
Yeah.
Do you have any appointments? Can you go do this? Like, and it's amazing to be able to do that. And I love that opportunity where I can offer that now to other mothers or, that's an amazing thing to have that flexibility with schedules.
I will say why Kiki was visiting. I know that the little time that we spent, I think you talked to your daughters like at least 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah,
just
right?
in like the little bit of time, and that even include like FaceTime and everything. Like,
yeah.
So
we're very close.
Yeah,
we're very. Those are my soldiers, and I'm a strong person, and I always teach them to, I want them to be stronger than me. And I honestly, I'm really tough on them. Right. And they probably tell people Mama, I'm crazy. They say it all the time. Listen, don't play with my mom. She crazy, or whatever. But I just want them, to have that tough skin. And also I always tell them to stick together. Even sometimes they gang up on me and I like it. I like it because I'll just poke at them, mess with one just to see if the other, and sometimes she's like, leave my sister-in-law. And I'm like, look, your sister, that's my daughter.
Right.
But they do that, and that's how I want them to be.
Absolutely.
Because a part of that same legacy, when I'm not here, I want them to be able to, still hold strong like their mother did throughout all this time.
Right.
And, and to be able to do way more, things than I was able to do.
Absolutely. One thing in Senior Life, though, we always refer to it as a Senior Life family because we try to be as close as any professional family can be.
We are so close. I love you guys.
Tell me about Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Tell me about Mark.
Mark is oh my God. Let me stop. Mark. You gotta give me a second.
Take your time.
Dang.
No, you're fine. Take your time.
He is amazing. So Mark had he had been emailing me and I never paid him any mind. I was with another company, the other company before, and I just didn't pay attention to him pretty much. And then and Joanne did the same thing. She continued to email me different companies. And I never looked at them. She shoot me emails every day, Kiki, oh my God, look at this. You know how bubbly she is.
Right.
And I'm like, Joe, you sent me 50 yesterday.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know how, out of all the emails looking at the senior life opportunity. And actually, I told you I was going to try to go and look and see which email it was that she sent me. But watched the opportunity. Then I, like, us, our generation, you go straight to Facebook. If you want to prove something or you want to know if it's legit, you go straight and search it in Facebook.
Right.
So I put it in Facebook and Mark popped up. And then, of course, you go through the pictures and you trying to like, who is this? And who is that? Like,
Trying
what they doing?
Yeah.
That's your investigation. That's going to be your proof.
Right.
And actually, I run into, I see Ramon Frias.
Yeah.
And Ramon Frias is actually the person that brought me into the insurance business with another company. And Mark was there or whatever. So I think I requested him and then I DM'd him. And then he hit me back like it was nothing.
Right.
And he hit Joanne back because I screenshot. I'm like, here, look at this dude. And then I shot it to her. And then we both DM'd him or whatever. And he hit us back. So I remember from that first day he called, the same spirit he has now.
Yes.
Like I tell him all the time, you treat us like we're football players. Like, like we're in a locker room.
Right.
And that's every day. But he was like that. He was fired up on the phone and he was like, oh, I've been emailing you, girl. And I'm like, who is this dude? Like, and he's like, then I go and I'm checking him out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he did email me.
Right.
So from day one, we clicked. Like me, him, and Joanne, we're like brothers and sisters. Like, literally, we're family. And sometimes I feel bad. Like, I'm like, I think Sonya said, y'all stole my brother from me. But like, we're really, really close. Yeah. And we clicked from day one. And he's seen, like I tell him all the time, he's seen so much more in me than I see in myself. And I remember he always told me, I need you to continue to jot down everything what's going on. He's been telling me that since day one.
Right.
Kiki, jot everything down. This is going to be a story. You're building a legacy. Like, he said, jot it down, write it down all the time. So, I used to be like, oh, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
Right.
And then he would be like, y'all need to get uncomfortable. Like, y'all ain't doing nothing. Like, how you get uncomfortable. And I'm like, I am uncomfortable. This shirt is tight. Like, what you mean? It's hot outside.
Right.
And he's like, no, get uncomfortable. Do something you never did before. Right. And I'm like, okay, Mark, okay. Like, I'm going to do it.
Right.
Tomorrow.
Right.
Like, get uncomfortable. Okay, I'm going to do it next week. And like, it's always, that's how he's always. But this guy, man, he will pull the best out of anyone.
Yeah.
For what he's done for me to change, like he turned me into a whole nother person. Something so small as, I remember I used to text him in the morning, like we text in the morning, and he used to say, great morning. And I used to just text him back, GM, right?
Right.
And he's like, what does that mean, General Motors? So now, honestly, I try not to text nobody GM. I literally put great morning or good morning, amazing. I don't put GM. And just from the small things like that he, he critiqued me or whatever, and he does it all the time.
Right.
You have to always be on your toes with this dude, because you never know, where he's coming from with it. When he asks you certain questions, you can't just quickly answer him. You have to really think about it, because he's setting you up for something else, or he's trying to see where your mind is at. Right. So I learned that with him, and then. Actually, like me and Joanne laugh all the time. When we first met him, we would tell him, oh, we're going to do something in 2 weeks. And then he'd be like, why you can't do it in a week? So we learned that anytime you tell him, and actually he's going to cut it down to half.
Okay, so give him double.
Yeah, so we learned like, okay, we are like, Joanne, how long is it going to take us to do whatever? Go take us a month. Okay, well, tell him 2 months, because he's going to tell us a month. We learned to work around him.
He's going to see this, you know that.
Oh, sure. But, this dude I would say he have brought the best out of me. Definitely. The best.
Definitely.
In 1 year, out of 37 years, he has brought the best out of me.
Wow.
Like, crazy. Like, it's crazy.
Definitely.
It's crazy. I thank him for everything. I text him all the time. He's like, oh, you got me all mushy. I'm like, you are mushy. Like, you know, every time we have our moments.
Right.
And, like, you know, he's always pouring into us.
Yeah.
Like all the time. And I remember he used to tell me also, too, when we first started, because I'm the oldest of my mom's children.
Right. And,
you know, I'm the most headstrong, like, you know, so I run everything pretty much.
Okay. Well, all right.
I'm boss lady, right?
Right.
And my mom and my dad even call me that. My sisters, they're like, whatever.
Right.
Even my nieces and nephews, they're like, that's boss lady. But he told me I had to be selfish. And at first I didn't understand. I'm like, no, like, you know, I do everything for my family. Like, you know, I'm the backbone. I do everything. He's like, no, you have to be selfish. You have to learn, like, you know, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't, you know, make sure you're good, you can't be good for them. Like, you know, and I never used to understand. I remember one day, like, crying to him, like, whatever. And he's like, I told you to be selfish. Be selfish.
Right.
Learn to be selfish. But, like, you know, to us, like, you know, growing up selfish mean, like, you know, you don't care about no one else. But he always said, Kiki, you have to put yourself first. Because, you know, if there's no you, then you can't do anything. And when that light turned on, and I was like, y'all, he's right. Like, you know, I have to take care of my health. And actually, the first week that I contracted, I got the flu.
Yeah.
And I had, like, the worst strand of the flu. I'd never been sick like that. You know, you always hear people had a flu or whatever. Y'all, I was dog sick. And nobody really, like, you know, was able to come through. Right. And I'm like, I'm always the one that's, you know, this, and that. And I was literally like, you know, sometimes in that bed for like 2-3 days and can't get out. Yeah. And, you know, and everybody would swing by when they could, you know, and with me, you know, I would drop everything at a dime to go, you know. Well, if you're the one everybody's relying on, it's different when the tables are turned. That's when I realized that and I, like, you know, and he even said it, like, when you were sick, like, you know, who came to do whatever? And I'm like, you know, my sisters, they work, they have their own kids. Like, you know, that's why I help out with them. And then they help out with me, like, you know, and then my mom and dad, like, you know, they're helping out with my other sisters, so I can't ask them. But he was like, that's what I told you. You got to take care of yourself. Yeah. You got to stay healthy. You got to, you know, get a platform, like, you know, get a solid ground. Like, you know, you have to do these things. And that's what he instilled in me over those couple months, over the summer. I had some rough times, like, you know, of course, jumping out of that window. And I tell people all the time, I gained my wings on my way down. Oh, wow. Literally. Like, you know, do you get it? Like, you see it? And I jumped out the window, and I didn't have nothing, but I gained those wings and, like, you know, and it was crazy. Like, I remember the first day, like, y'all, I was having anxiety attacks. Never heard, like, you know, I heard of them, but literally I was jumping out of my sleep in the middle of the night, like, oh my God, I quit my job. Like, you know, I would really, like, I can't believe, like, did not have to, like, calm down. It's only a job. Like, you know, you got this. And, like, you know, I had, you know, good money in the bank, but, like, you know, of course, with not that much success coming into sales, like, you know, I had to learn the strategies. You're brand new to the game. It's all brand new to the game, but I loved it. Because I didn't have a plan B. And I tell people a lot, I left my previous job for Senior Life. So what do I look like having a plan B? Or scratching this after 2 months because, like, you know, it's not pumping like I thought it was. And I'm like, I left my job for this, so this is all I got. Like, I have to make it work. And to explain it to my daughters, like, when I did it, like, you know, my kids are pretty spoiled, y'all. Like, y'all will get to meet them. I have to bring them to home office. I had the most bouged ghetto little daughters you could ever think. They're spoiled. And I just didn't want them to have that struggle or whatever, but it did, some days did get pretty hard. And, you know, I try not to let them see it. Like, you know, I didn't share with them, you know, the things that were going on in the background. I would keep it to myself. And, one day my younger daughter had an outburst, and it hurt me to the core.
Right.
I think it was like Christmas or either around Thanksgiving, around the holidays. It was like she wanted to do something and something else. And I'm like, no, you have to make a choice. They never had to make choices.
They don't know about choices.
Yeah, like, what's a choice?
Right.
Like, I usually get it all.
Right.
And she's like, life was so much better when you worked at TSA. And I was like, really? Like, and then she realized too, and she's like, no, Ma, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, you really meant that, right? And then she's like, no, Ma, like,
Right.
or whatever. So then I was like, don't worry. Like, that's when I realized, like, Kiki, you got to kick this up another notch. Like,
Right.
Right now you just doing. Like, we got to kick this up one more notch.
And that you did. I mean, last month you did personal production of over 20,000 by yourself. And, we've talked about the past. We've talked about the recent stuff going on and then now the present. But let's talk about the future a little bit. Let's talk about Joanne, and let's talk about First Prestige. What is that?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
First Prestige, that's our baby.
Okay.
This is how we're doing First Prestige right now.
Okay.
Right? First Prestige. Yeah, it's our baby. So, First Prestige. First Prestige was First Prestige before Senior Life. We actually created First Prestige, I think it was like in November 17. That was like right before we met you guys. And we actually did like a launch party. It was so cute. We had like all the logos and everything. We did a launch party for Joanne's birthday. I'm not going to say her age.
All right.
For Joanne's birthday. We did like a launch party. Like, and some of our friends are like, y'all selling insurance? They're like, yeah, we're insurance agents. Like, how we do everything all cute.
Right.
And so like we're celebrating and we're doing all this. So I remember her and I sitting down January 18th because we came to Senior Life February 18th.
Oh, wow.
So January 18th, we sat down and we did like a year plan. We broke it up in quarters. And the first thing was to find final expense, to do telesales,
Right.
and to build a call center. Like, right? We didn't. That's just, how we thought of it. Because actually, with the previous company, we did a lot of out of territory, sales, and it was kind of unsafe for, cute females.
Right.
So
it can be, working field sales can be tough on a woman whenever you go out there by yourself.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that you have to consider. And so telesales for a lot of people is, a lot of women especially, is considered a better route.
In scheduling and also, safety or whatever. So we were like, listen, we're going to do this call center situation. Let's find a company. And actually that's when Joanne did a lot of research. She's the researcher. I'm just pretty much the one that signs off on everything.
Right. That's kind of like me and Kent.
Yeah. Like,
he does the legwork and I just sign off on it.
Joanne, and that's the thing about it too. Like they always say like we're yin and yang. Like, I'm the organizer and she's pretty much the chaos, but like, is cute chaos. It's like glitter and sparkles everywhere when she sees something.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, no, we're just going to put one piece of construction paper on it and this is what it's going to be.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, okay, but just a little sprinkle of glitter. So that's how First Prestige came about.
Right.
And then actually when we did find this amazing final expense opportunity, that's when we were like, okay, we're going to do this product, we're going to do this, and we're going to have our telesales office. So, we got us an office and we did everything. So actually, coming into Senior Life, we had to learn the game first, right? Because she came from a call center background, but still sales, but not insurance sales.
Right.
And then me, no sales experience at all. So we needed to do a good year of personal production pretty much and, trial and error.
Yeah.
We did. And I can say we actually did go through a lot of trial and error. And we both have our own paths of that trial and error. Like, her situation is different from mine.
Right.
So it hit us different ways at different time, different waves. Sometime I was doing well and, back and forth. So, now we're here. Like, now we have arrived.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, in the last, 2-3 months, we have arrived. And honestly, that first month for me, like, you know, my in personal production was like a shocker because I'm like, what happened? Like, did I do that or whatever? And then the next month, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, you know, I'm nervous. Now I'm uncomfortable again.
Wow.
Right? Now I'm back to that uncomfortable space again because I'm like, okay, I know how to do insurance sales. I've learned that. And now I'm just chilling. And now, like, you know, it's kicked up a notch and everybody's calling like, what y'all doing? How y'all did? And then now we're like, okay, it's time to now build, you know, a team and a bunch of mini Kiki and Joannes, right? And so that's when we decided, like, hey, let's go ahead and we're gonna push this First Prestige, and here we are. So of course we announced it actually to the Blake group yesterday, like in one of the breakout sessions.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody was like, what? Then y'all gonna combine on top of that? And we were like, yeah, you know, we were always together, but like, yeah, so now we got something going on.
There you go.
We got something going on for the future.
So we've talked about a number of things, just kind of what can we expect from not just First Prestige, but from Kiki, the senior life agent, what can we expect in the future?
Oh man, I'm scared of the future. I'm nervous. Like I said, like I'm totally uncomfortable again. And I've learned with this business, a lot of people say it, like if you're uncomfortable and you're nervous, that's good. You know, before we was taught if you're nervous and uncomfortable, that's like, you know, it's not good. It's good. And I'm so scared of the future. Like me and her, like, we're like sisters, y'all. They even gave us the cutest room at like twin beds, like cute little Barbie beds almost. And like, you know, we lay in the bed, like the other night we're talking, I'm like, Joe, I'm scared. Too. Like, you know, and y'all should see us. It's a mess. But what you could expect, of course, more great production, taking on the leadership role, definitely, and building an awesome First Prestige team. A great, like, we know we have the platform now, and now it's nowhere, but like we're going up. Everything is going up.
To be a leader, do you think you would have been able to do that without Mark and Doug?
Definitely not without them too. Doug is also amazing. He's with me. Like, you know, they know, Mark and Doug, they know how to rub each one of us. Like, you know, one, like, you know, they're like how your kids, how you deal with each one differently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's how it is. And like, you know, sometimes like Doug will call and I'm like, hello. Like, oh, are you okay? Like, you know, he's always like cautious. But like, you know, it's just, I love the way with each one of us, they care with us each way. And then they're great leaders. They're great mentors. Doug is more firm than Mark, of course.
Yeah, I can see that.
I get away with a lot of stuff with Mark. Please don't tell him.
Don't tell him. Where should he? A podcast.
I think I get away with more with Mark than Doug.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I get away with it.
Let's just keep it. Let's just keep
let's leave it like that.
Before you get.
But definitely, I became a great leader because of their leadership and the way they lead our team. And you guys can see, like, we're like family. Like, we have so much fun together all the time.
Yes.
It's like, it's family and it's love. And it's crazy how you can make so much money and having this much fun.
And have that much fun.
Right? And there's like no guidelines, no limits. I'm like, is this really legal? Like, such a question. Like, we were just talking out in front of one of the restaurants here that me and Joanne love, actually. And we were sitting out there and like, remember, we used to be like, this can't be legal because like, you know, it's just so good.
Right.
And it's so much fun. And you're just helping people. And that's one of the main goals for First Prestige is that we're leaders in our community, actually. Like now, there's no way I can go to the gas station without somebody saying, oh, I've been wanting to contact you about getting some insurance. Because, you know, we have like, it's like a small town, just like here. And we're leaders in our neighborhoods, like,
Yeah.
in our churches.
Right.
And that's the main thing. We're trying to take it back to the community, educate our community and take care of our communities.
Absolutely.
And continue to be leaders for our children, like, family, everyone. And, of course, all the family members are proud of us. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I always try to give our guests a chance. If there's anything else you want to say, mention, or anything before we get out of here and we wrap up.
I just want to thank all of you guys. Like, y'all are like family. Like, every time we come here, it's like, how you come to the family house once a year,
Right,
like for
the reunion.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's how it is.
Right.
Like, when you come here, like
Right.
that's how we feel. Like,
Definitely.
like we're home.
Definitely.
And you guys, we thank First Prestige, I know Dream Team and Blake Group. We all thank you like so much. Like, y'all take care of us every time, even miles away. Like, all we have to do is get on the phone. And sometimes, like, I guess they see my car, like, boss lady, this you on the phone?
Right.
Like, it's like even calling and knowing exactly who you want to talk to.
Yeah.
It's like we're like a huge family, and like we just thank you so much. And from First Prestige, we definitely thank you guys for the opportunity, for everything that you do, for pouring into us, for
Definitely.
believing in us. Definitely, Uncle Mitch.
Yes, shouts
Uncle,
out.
shout out to my favorite Uncle Mitch.
Right.
We was messing with him in the car, talking about, you got so much swag. He's like, y'all don't make me blush.
Please don't tell him that, because then he's going to repeat it like all next week.
He got so much sauce. We told him
Right.
so much sauce.
Did you
But-
teach him what sauce was? Because I feel like Mitch might not have been
Yes,
aware of what.
we've been telling him in the car all day
Yeah.
today. He got sauce, and he showed us some new clothes. Like, look, check out those pants. Like, oh yeah, you gonna be right. But Uncle Mitch is amazing.
Yes. Absolutely.
Definitely spending that week with him, and here at home office with him and with Kat. And you guys, oh man, I can go on forever.
Definitely.
Forever.
Definitely.
Like Ken, when I walk through the door, hey Ken, they're like, you know him? Yeah, I know Ken. That's my cousin. Like,
I definitely see the resemblance.
yeah. Kentrella. I don't want to even start calling out names, Aileen, everybody. Like,
We have like 200 and something people that work
yeah,
here. So
it's
we'll be
every,
here
I
for a
can
while.
go from every department, y'all. Please don't fault me for names, but we love you all.
Definitely.
And we appreciate everything. This is an amazing opportunity, and I'm definitely trying to recruit more in my community, actually in my family, get my sisters on board, my daughters. Like my mom, she loves you guys too. She hear about it all the time.
Nice.
My kids sometimes like, can we stop? Can you go one day without saying senior life? Can you go one day? Like, I can't. I bleed senior life. Come on.
There it is.
But yeah,
There it is.
and I just thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you and we thank you. Whenever you guys came on board, there was definitely a buzz in the building and everybody was excited about you
Really?
joining. And just, getting to know you a little bit more. You are definitely a blessing and an amazing person. And everybody here greatly appreciates you.
Thank you.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. This has been the new episode of the All Fired Up podcast. We have the amazing and beautiful Kiki in the building. And like we say every single time, it is senior life all your life.